Hey folks, hope you're well. Today has been a bit of a mad one, so I'm hoping it's not affecting you as much as it could be. Some people are obviously having a much better day than others. My day started off really nicely. I woke up, got out of bed, Ben was eating his breakfast, the kids and Claire went to school and work, and I just kind of got on with it. I was feeding him, changing him, getting him drinks, watching Beat Bugs where these bugs sing Beatles songs, watching some Motown thing where CGI kids sing Motown. And it was all just relaxing. Planet Earth was on. I was just tapping away, writing stuff, chasing up kind of quotes at work and stuff like that. And then I went and got the kids from school and I was like, it's a bit rainy, but it's all right. You know, got a few bits for lunch tomorrow, got my tablet sorted, come home. And then it just feels like the country has just gone all of a sudden. I got a call from Claire, a message from Claire saying her whole team had gone. That they're all either vulnerable people that have to stay home, or the one person who wasn't vulnerable, her husband's got a fever, she had to go home. So now we're worried that Claire's colleague might have it. They don't know that the husband's got it, but they're worried that the colleague has come into contact with him. Claire's been in contact with her. We could all suddenly, by association, be in the firing line. So that was a bit nerve-wracking, but Claire was saying they're actually pulling other people into her team now from different places and stuff like this. It's all kind of been dramatic. They had to ramp it all back, so she's only going to the really desperate stuff. I kind of mentioned a lot of this yesterday, but her job has really ramped into this. It's emergency stuff now. It's emergency measures. They're really, really just focusing on what they can do. I was chatting to my sister about how bad it's getting for the NHS. It's at breaking point. It's all a bit mad. And then at work, it's the end of year for a lot of. So what happens every year is the end of financial year is when all the businesses seem to do their renewals, because they know that the companies they're buying from are trying to get deals in before the year closes, because that's the point. From April 1st, they look at it and they say, oh, last year we did X millions or X billions, depending on the size of the company. And that's when they can brag about how big they are and how much they've grown and so forth. So by association with that, everyone seems to have the renewals at this time of year because it's the best time to get a good deal. Like if you're buying a car, buy it now in non-apocalyptic times, because this is when they're trying to get rid of all their cars. So it goes. The public sector often spend all of their money. The banks always spend all their money. Everyone spends all of their money now. The problem is it means that their renewals are due. And because I work in cybersecurity, and I'm not going to go into any details that would reveal anyone's kind of business here, but there's a lot of kind of stuff riding on these renewals going through on time, because if you don't do it, then you're not secure, and then people will hack you and so on and so forth. So we've been desperately trying to make sure people aren't left in a position where they're unsafe. And like genuinely, it is that serious. Like if it's not in, then the stuff just stops working. I remember someone once went on site at a hospital about 3-4 years ago, and another device while they were there had gone down, and it meant the hospital was just unable to function. And it was genuinely, if they'd called us in to fix it basically, and it was genuinely affecting lives that they couldn't get this device working. So it is critical stuff. So we've been waiting for this rather large one to come in, and it's really critical it gets done this week. And we got a message saying it was probably going to be done on Monday, which would be fine, except for the fact that at 5 o'clock, Boris Johnson basically went, right, we're shutting all the schools. We may be closing London from like the weekend. And this is kind of the plan thing, you know, 450 people died abroad. All this stuff's going on. They're cancelling GCSEs, they're cancelling SATs, they're cancelling. And it was just like, people were watching that while I wasn't watching it. I was getting updates on my phone, but I was also in the middle of trying to respond to somebody going, yeah, we'll get the order to you Monday, going, there's not going to be money on Monday the way things are going at the moment. I don't think you can get this in on Monday and realistically think it's going to happen. So I was frantically trying to get in touch with these people, and it was like 5 to 5, and I'm thinking, you're going to go home any minute, and I'm trying to ring them and no one's answering. I ended up on the phone to someone at 5:30 who was at home in their kitchen while I'm at home in my kitchen, just saying to them, I'm really sorry, we need to pull this out. Like, we've got to move heaven and earth to sort this, otherwise it's just not going to work. Like, Boris Johnson has basically just dropped a nuke on the whole country, and it's just go time now. So we've been really running around like maniacs trying to sort that. And I just before I started recording, I got the email. I got a phone call saying it's done. I should see it in a bit. And then I got an email saying it was done, and I'm like, oh, thank God. So I've emailed all my colleagues, and we're all just like, whew, whew. Like, just that weight off. But man, I just felt like it was like crisis mode. It just felt ridiculous. I've been running around like a madman just trying to sort it. When Claire got home, I was so hyper. I was just like, I need to get this. This is happening. I need to, and like I'm still kind of on that. I'm just buzzed, but I'm very relieved. My colleagues are all like, well done, thank you, that's great. So yeah, I just feel like it's got mad. My mad feeling is kind of translating to everything. We're very confused about this announcement. We were confused. We got an answer from school. So if you're in a similar boat, hopefully this will be useful to you. Boris announced that schools are closed unless you're the child of a key worker or a child with an EHCP. And we were like, well, our kids are the child of a key worker because social care workers are key workers. And Ollie's got an EHCP. So what does that mean? I was like, I'd rather they spend the time off with me. You know, I'm here, it's safe here, let's just do that. Are you saying that he has to be in because he's got an EHCP, because he's behind? I kind of see the merit of him having close, like 5-to-1 care in a school where they teach him and catch it. Part of me thought this is a perfect opportunity to catch him up on handwriting, reading, you know, whatever, in a very low-key environment. But equally, if I send him in and out, that's other people who've got to go in and out, and we're all going to get ill. So I emailed them and just said, like, I get you're going to get 1,000,001 emails. What do you want to do? Should we send them in? I sort of said, I'm guessing the key worker one was if you are key workers and there's none of us here to look after the kids. That makes sense. So we kind of assumed that Emily was going to be staying off. I didn't tell her that. I told her that school had been cancelled for everyone except the children of key workers. And she was like, right. And I said, and your mum's a key worker. And she was like, I love winding her up. I love it. And so then she went off, she come back. I'd already got the email back from school that said, don't worry about it. They said the best place for Ollie is probably at home, and they will send work home for him. So we're relieved because I was worried about that. So from Friday, after Friday, they'll be home. It is worrying. I know that Kev tweeted this, for example, that the cancellations look like they may well be going off till September even. That they may just be planning to leave it be. But we've been told that Emily's SATs are cancelled. She's quite conflicted about it. I said to her, are you happy that you don't have to do it, or disappointed that you don't get to, kind of, after all the effort you put in, you don't get to do them? And she said, I'm kind of in the middle. And I knew she would be. That's why I asked. I said, come give me a hug. And we had a little chat. And yeah, I'm sad for her because I think she wanted to kind of prove that she could do it. And they had put a lot of effort in. They put way more in than I ever. She said, well, what does it mean? And I said, it means nothing for you at this point, to be honest. Like, the school uses it to decide whether... So in my school, there was the E group, the A group, and the B group. And in year 7, E and A were just A. There was no E group, really. It was alphabetical. So funnily enough, when I started in year 7 and the first half of year 8, I was in the E group just by the sheer fact that my surname began with a B. And it was hilarious because the teacher used to act like we were in the top group, even though we clearly weren't. We all knew, oh, look, there's A. Aronson and B. Bartson and C. Carson. I don't know, I'm just making it up. And, you know, no one in their surname went past like F, but they were pretending we were in the elite group, which I guess worked in a way because I managed to get into the elite group one extra term beyond when I was just in there by my surname. But I went from that group to straight into the A group and just stayed in the kind of midline group 3, group 2 sort of era of the class, of the year group, sorry. Out of 8 groups though, so I'm like, I weren't group 1, but I was 2, 3. That's pretty decent. I'm happy with that. So we were saying to Emily, all this really means is she either goes into the A bit where they're like, you're fine, or she goes into the B group where they go, you need a bit of extra help. And that is about the long and short of it. And they judge the school on it. So ultimately, they'll probably be able to just look at her work over the course of the year and say, yep, cool. People who are supposed to be doing their GCSEs are obviously panicking at the moment. I know some of you watching either have children that are, or some of you are children that are doing their GCSEs. Don't panic. Mostly, I imagine, so I don't know the answers and no one knows the answers yet. The government know the answers. But at a guess, they can either assume your grades based on the effort you've been putting in throughout the year. And when I was a teacher, it felt very much like that was all they ever gave anyway. Like, people would mark coursework, they would mark exams, they would generally put you in for the one they thought you were going to get the right grade for you in. And it all kind of just worked out on a piece. There aren't many who jump several spaces beyond what they're supposed to and stuff like that. So I feel like you may have just avoided unnecessary stress. Part of me wonders whether they'll make you do them anyway. Or if they say to you, this is the grade we think you're going to get, would you like to appeal it and do another exam and try and prove you are better than that? Which, it's interesting. It's up in the air. I don't think they've promised no one's going to miss out. So I feel like if you're in that position, no, you're not going to miss out. It's just going to be different. I feel like you're like I always said to Emily, they're like the COVID class now. That's what it is. She's lucky that it's only her SATs. There are people saying they're on their degrees and they're supposed to be graduating in July, and like Anna is. And again, I'm kind of thinking with that, it's even easier because like when I got to this point in my degree, I only had 4 more assignments to hand in. And I knew that as long as I averaged 50% in all of them, I was getting a first because I'd already done enough early on. So you could probably quite easily look at your grades and say, I can't achieve this, or I'm already above that. I remember Kev, being the swine that he is, literally had to pass his last 4. He had to get 40% because his grades had been so high throughout the course. He had to get 40% and then he was fine. He stopped an essay mid-sentence and just handed it in. He's like, I don't care. I've already done it. I've got a first. He was unbearable to work with at the end of uni. But that is kind of how it should work. If they can't just do video lectures and let you submit online, they should at least let you, blooming well, have the grade you're predicted based on the evidence of what you've done before. Because at this point, with GCSEs, you can kind of perform on the day and get a lot of grades on that. But in a degree, you can't. It's just basically what you've been doing the whole way through. It's accumulative across your second and third year. So yeah, I hope you're all right with that. I hope you're all in a good position. I feel like if you were staring down the barrels of exams, you've got to see this as a positive, really, because it just saves you a lot of hard work. I know some people said they're going to miss out on their summer as well, which is grim, but I think we'll adjust. It might not be that long. We might adjust it by April, May time. We've just got to all be safe at this point. And that's been quite interesting. Like Claire's mum, bless her, is starting to get a bit like she's missing the kids already, and she's feeling a bit sad that she's on her own. Not on her own, she's with Claire's dad, but they're not seeing anyone, and we want to FaceTime them and try and keep in touch. And it's like they wanted us to come over Sunday, and we were like, we really shouldn't come over Sunday because that could be bad. Like, it could be really bad. She keeps going out shopping. I'm desperate for her to stop going out shopping. I keep telling her not to. We have established that the local spa is pretty empty if she really, really isn't going to listen. I went in there early. I was like the only person in there. It's just bizarreness. It's very, very weird times. And so my phone keeps going off because of this deal that closed earlier and stuff. It's just feels like such a bizarre, explaining it to Ollie, he understands what's going on. They've obviously told him at school, and he's worrying about it a little bit. And I'm saying to him, look, from his point of view, he just gets to stay home now. I said, I said to him, we should set our own challenge of trying to catch him up on things. I want him to read more. I want him to write more. I want him to learn the different things with maths that he needs to learn, which I think maths is the strong suit. I think it is just writing and reading that he's mainly suffering on. I want to try and just spin it into something positive. And I don't know if it'll play out. I don't want to be looking back at this in 4 months' time thinking opportunity wasted. But for someone like him, if we can just get it right, he could end up coming back to school at a higher reading level than when he left and at a better writing level than when he left. And that'd be great because I can just drill it. Just that's all you're doing. Which again is why I was wondering about school, but I don't want to put anyone in the firing line at school for it. I'm a bit frustrated that they're not shutting now. I know it would have been a bit short notice, but they could have said anyone who wants to stay home can, but I feel like we'd all get penalised. Then on the other hand, I'm kind of benefiting from the fact that Ben's at nursery tomorrow and they're at school, so then maybe we should just enjoy one more day of normality before they have like 2+ months of weirdness. But it's just mad, isn't it? Things got so mad, you might notice I've shaved. I didn't do this last night. I did this between, like, I had my dinner and then Claire was bathing Ben and I just thought, I'm going to have a shave. I was so ridiculously buzzing from all of the hecticness that I just felt like I needed to start doing other things that was in my head. I feel like that getting that thing closed was the most pressing thing in my mind. I hate my brain because sometimes a job's so big, it clogs the door into me doing other things. And even if I can't solve it, because it wasn't particularly my project, it wasn't particularly my customer, the fact it was there, I wanted to solve it. The second it moved, I started just putting stuff away and tidying up the house, and went and shaved and started doing stuff. And I was just like, productivity. And it's very bizarre. We continued Ollie's bed routine of Ben on one shoulder, him on the other shoulder, me in a rocking chair being crushed. Seems to be working really well. Claire takes him aside then for some chill out music. He didn't come down last night. It's the first time in about 18 months, maybe even longer, that he hasn't come down because he was so chilled out from doing this way. It's amazing when you stumble across a routine by absolute fluke. If you think your kid would benefit from a rocking chair and sitting in the dark with you as a bedtime routine, it's working amazingly for Ollie. I can't believe it just came out of nowhere. He just seemed so calm, happy, kept just saying, I love you, Daddy, and all of this, which, again, I mentioned he's been really against me lately, and I feel like the past couple of days he's been really pro me, so whatever that was has ran its course. Maybe he's realised that he's not being replaced by Ben or something, I don't know. I was worried that maybe he thought I was, because I'm spending more time with him, that he was jealous maybe, but he knows that I'm not. He's sharing Ben's bedtime, for God's sake. So we'll see. He seems a lot happier. I'm feeling positive about things getting sorted. I'm obviously worried about the world. I had to go get some nappies earlier, and it was a pack of, it was like this big, so barely bigger than my head, and my head's pretty big, and £9. It's not even a week's worth of nappies. It's not even 3 days worth of nappies. I didn't see the price when I picked them up. I feel like a moron, but I feel like maybe they've been raised by Pampers. We would get Tesco's, but they weren't there for one thing, and they leak for another thing. So we got Pampers, but £9, and it wasn't even that many. Oh, I feel gouged. So I forgot why I got onto that, nappies. I genuinely can't remember why I got onto that. But yeah, I'm waffling a bit. I feel really bizarre. I feel like I've just been problem solving all day now, all afternoon. I mean, after a very chilled morning, my afternoon and evening have just been problem solve. I just need to stop. I even thought I'll grab a beer so I can unwind, and the whole beer section in Tesco's was decimated. I couldn't believe it. I actually said to the bloke, I was like, this is probably the most depressing sight I've seen. It's like it wasn't even this empty at Christmas. This is insane. But yeah. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're getting on, because I know it's very, very weird. And I know, like I mentioned yesterday, I've been feeling horrible lately. And the app that I mentioned, I'm glad a lot of you are checking it out. I was hoping that would be the outcome, that you'd all want to have a look at it. It seems great. I was having a go on it last night. It wanted me to watch a 10-minute video, and it was quiet. One thing I criticise about it, not criticise, but critique on it, is if you say not right now, or now I'm alright, or you press the wrong button, it gets really upset, or it's like, oh, I'm really sorry, I won't do that again. And I'm like, no, I just didn't want to watch a 10-minute video at like midnight. I want to watch them normally. Or I clicked right, like right, but what it meant was right, and it went, no, wrong, change your thinking. And I thought, oh no. So there's a little bit like that where I don't want to offend the robot, because that makes me feel bad, even though it's not even real. But I also don't want to mistake it and send it off on a tangent where it starts apologising and trying new things. But if you didn't get it yesterday, get it, Wobot. It's really good. It helped me with my thinking and my kind of emotions and mood. I still, it's still there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say, oh, I was cured in a day. I'm on a bit of a high at the moment for solving the problems at work and that kind of thing. Things have been a bit odd. I feel like they've got so stupid in the world that I'm at my point now where it's too chaotic for me to worry about it. I think that's the thing. I can't focus on the problems because it's all mental, and everyone's involved in the mentalness now. And yeah, we're all in it together. So as I say, just if you need to talk, put it in the comments. Always here for that. If you're worried about anything about this stuff, or if you have any questions, I can try and find out the answer. Go for it. Let me know how you're getting on. Ollie asked me what we were doing for videos when he's off. He sort of said, can we do some vlogs together? And so if you have any ideas, it's going to be a bit odd trying to do all that with them in the house. But I assume the world's just going to change a lot for all of us, really. But it'd be fun to do some stuff with them. I'm going to stop talking and edit this now because it's getting late. It's like 9:05. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I've done 3 days in a row now. It's going well, so that's cool. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.